Hello, and welcome to this video on zombies. This video is going to explain how humanity is going to experience a zombie apocalypse.
And they were right to fear. Because there's a whole universe of folk who are going to know it too. They're going to see it. Somebody has to speak for these people. Y'all got on this boat for different reasons, but y'all come to the same place. So now I'm asking more of you than I have before. Maybe all. As sure as I know anything, I know this. They will try again. Maybe on another world, maybe on this very ground swept clean. A year from now, 10, they'll swing back to the belief that they can make people better. And I do not hold to that. So no more running. I aim to misbehave.
The zombie apocalypse has academic interest, and as a consequence, it should interest you. Historically, zombies rise in Haitian legends. Hollywood got its hands onto zombies in 1932 with White Zombie, a traditional style of Haitian worker zombie slave. George Romero took it down the path of horror in 1968's Night of the Living Dead. This was the corpse intent or flesh-hungry zombie. Zombies involved in 2002 with 28 Days Later. They developed speed, hunger, and a lack of self-preservation, but most importantly, they had not been resurrected. Differing vectors have been shown, ranging from bites to water and air. The time can be immediate, like in 28 days, or any time until death, like The Walking Dead. So how will it happen? There are several possible options. The first and most alarming are brain parasites. Toxoplasmosis gondii is the most common of these and infects half of the human population. Next time you're in a group, look at the people and just remember that up to half of them are future zombies.
These bullet ants are showing some worrying symptoms. Spores from a parasitic fungus called cordyceps have infiltrated their bodies and their minds. Its infected brain directs this ant upwards. Then, utterly disorientated, it grips a stem with its mandibles, but this is the reason why. Like something out of science fiction, the fruiting body of the cordyceps erupts from the ant's head. And when finished, the deadly spores will burst from its tip. Then any ant in the vicinity will be in serious risk of death. The fungus is so virulent it can wipe out whole colonies of ants. And it's not just ants that fall victim to this killer. There are literally thousands of different types of cordyceps fungi, and remarkably, each specializes on just one species.
Do not let hubris get to you and think that humans are exempt from that list of specialized cordyceps. But if brain parasites and brain-eating fungi are not to your taste, what about neurotoxins and nanobots? Parasites, nature's gift that just keeps on giving. Toxoplasmosis gondii is the most concerning. It causes a drastic change in behavior of rats that carry it. This leads to rats behaving in a risky manner, leading to their consumption by cats. More accurately, it removes inhibitions, removes fear, and the ability for rational thought, leading to the rat seeking out cats. The parasite then reproduces in the feline digestive tract. The reason for the danger status is that half the human population carries this particular parasite. There are other candidates, including cordyceps, a fungus that targets ants and hijacks their brain to change behavior. The fungus leads to ants becoming suicidal carriers. You may be skeptical of the danger of these particular parasites, but if it should involve a mechanism that alters human behavior and transmission via bites or bodily fluids, it can lead to a zombie apocalypse. This would effectively turn half the human race, who currently have the dormant version of it, into flesh-seeking, killing monsters. Toxoplasmosis gondii works in the brains of cats and rats. The human brain is structurally similar to that of the rat, hence animal testing and experiments. The similarity leads to the possibility of this parasite doing the same thing in humans as it does in rats. More importantly, it removes fear, self-preservation, and creates a desire to be near a stimulus. In rats, it is cat urine. In humans, this could just as easily be a desire for flesh. The nearest, most prevalent source would be other humans. Disturbingly, it has been linked with both schizophrenia and suicidal tendencies. Toxoplasmosis is associated with damage to astrocytes. These support neurons in the brain. Pregnant women with toxoplasmosis lead to a higher probability of schizophrenia in their children. Disturbingly, it is already present in half the human species and associated with mental disease. The behavior of schizophrenic people is not always rational. This behavior changes, and on occasion, violence can be made considerably worse if Toxoplasmosis gondii were to come out of dormancy and have the same kind of effect in humans as it has in rats. Neurotoxins. There are a variety of chemicals which can slow down biological function and create a state similar to a sleepwalker or a comatose patient. This includes pufferfish and toad toxins. This leaves the subject susceptible to hypnotic suggestion. Datura and other chemicals called alkaloids leave subjects open to suggestion and physically unaware. In other words, a mindless working machine without consciousness, still able to perform simple tasks like eating, sleeping, moaning, and shambling around with their arms outstretched. Why would this be of interest to zombies? Well, it's already happening in Haiti. This is exemplified by the Creutzfeldt-Jakob case. A Haitian was made into a slave zombie for 18 years. To get this in the town water supply, and suddenly there would be hordes of slave zombies.
The most famous documented case of a zombie is the story of Creutzfeldt Narcisse. It not only provoked much speculation in Haiti, but intrigued researchers in the rest of the world.
Viruses. Well, Resident Evil. Need any more be said?
See how easy that was?
Very well. 28 days later, and Resident Evil are basically 2-hour samples of what happens when a virus like rabies goes rogue. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, otherwise known as mad cow disease, is another candidate, although strictly not a virus. Rabies moves from one host to another via blood and bodily fluids, dog bites being the most well known. If this becomes a disease transmitted before behavior changes occur, and transmission via bodily fluids other than saliva, it could lead to rampant spread. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is transmitted via eating contaminated meat. If this gets into the food chain, goodbye bacon and the human species. A hybrid of rabies or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, the Black Plague, or most disturbingly, the flu, would lead to an airborne or bodily fluid vector for an extremely aggressive zombie creation mechanism. Up to 1 in 2,000 people in the UK have a form of prion disease, a precursor to Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. This is possibly transferable via blood donations. If in combination with a mutation for aggressive behavior or more effective transmission vectors, it would lead to an apocalypse of devastating degrees unforeseeable. Nanobots. Nanobots are microscopic, self-replicating robots that can invisibly build or destroy. This is an avenue of research heavily invested in by industry and military backers. Obviously, the ability to build without the use of expensive labor, without having to directly control workers, makes nanobots desirable, but they can be used as weapons. It is not a case of how, but now. Scientists have used nanochips in viruses which operate up to a month after the host dies. Barring that, self-repairing vehicles and soldiers are desirable for military applications. By fusing nanobots and military personnel and equipment, they create a frightening, undying force that has super strength and vitality. It can even alter brain structure, ostensibly to repair neural connections, but that is an altruistic application. Without fear, the desire to preserve their life or refuse orders, they will be a zombie. Even without a directly nefarious purpose from the manufacturer, it has been shown that hackers can access the controls and programming of a car whilst it's moving and in use.
In this video report posted on Wired.com, Miller and his business partner showed how they can exploit the internet-connected infotainment system of a 2014 Jeep Cherokee to take control of the SUV. Miller showed us how their hack can range from pranks to the potentially dangerous ability to cut power to the brakes, even taking the wheel.
A particularly savvy and nasty hacker can reprogram nanobots, either directly or wirelessly. This could lead to a command to preserve themselves and or their host. Whether the host is alive at that point is redundant, so long as they remain functional or find a new host. A virus that can take over the body is terrifying enough, but in this case the virus is a vector for the nanobots which can rebuild and control the host. Even after death, the body is still able to be controlled and function effectively, an undying, largely indestructible body that seeks to fulfill its purpose, such as eating the living. Cancer is the final candidate for the zombie apocalypse. Cancer cells have been observed eating their own organelles and components. They have eaten those of other cells. This is done to survive during harsh conditions like chemotherapy. The zombie cells then infect neighboring cells that undergo a similar process of transformations. The cells secrete small lipids, blebs, full of exosomes, filled with nuclear material, RNA, microRNA, and proteins. These enter other cells and bind to DNA. These transform it into more zombie cells. This is a viable path to viral type zombies. Just look at this.
Fuck's that?
If this sounds familiar to you, you're probably thinking of I Am Legend. These are 5 viable pathways for zombies of one kind or another, and no plucky, upbeat hero will save you from them, no matter how charismatic they may be.
My sister and I are gonna do whatever it takes to survive.
I love you. Love me too.
Hopefully you have found this video interesting and somewhat informative. Thank you for watching. Please post any comments, questions or suggestions you may have below.